Hey, this is Eric. I hope this is picking me up. Going to be breaking down some film here. My goal is to make this 5 minutes, and digestible. And this is my first time doing this over video, so please have patience with me. So here is what I, so this is from the presentation I shared with you guys. Um, and I'm just going to go through the dial-up, which is a basic part of sailing. And what the dial-up does is it's the initial meeting of the two boats. So what happens in a match race is it's a 7-minute start time. Um, and then at 4 minutes, the blue boat enters from the port side, and the yellow boat enters from the starboard side. And so you'll see boats have flags on the back of their boats that, defines that they're racing or they're the different boats in a particular match. And they're supposed to enter at four. Before 4 minutes or at 4 minutes, they have to be on the outsides of this H right here. And once it's 4 minutes, they have 2 minutes to enter this start line, right? And so the goal of the yellow boat is to keep the blue boat from getting to the playground over here. The playground is the safe area, meaning if both boats are on the playground, then um, technically both boats are in like neutral control. And since blue's in port entering, right, they're at a disadvantage. And so their goal is to get over here because they want to be able to be in a neutral state, right? So the dial-up is effectively when the boats meet and it's basically yellow's first attempt to keeping them from the playground. So I'm just going to show you a video of what that looks like in real time, and we can talk about um, okay, so here's the video. So this is the Macau Match Cup. This is a video from this year. I think this is the semifinal. Oscar from he's coming in blue. Prendergast is coming in red. And you see 4 minutes, they're entering. Um, you can see, and I'm just gonna roll the video. I'm gonna put this on mute. All right. So you'll see they're entering and they're immediately going past the start line, right? That avoids getting any penalties on that front. And then they point at each other, right? So again, this boat's goal is to go over here. And this boat's goal is to stop. What you'll notice is that Prendergast here, it's a really, really like a clinical job um, executing this, because what you'll see is that he points at his boat, at the blue boat, and keeps straight, right? And the reason why that's relevant is because um, in oh, I need to find the racing rules of sailing. Crap. Okay. Um, uh, Corrections. So hold on. Appreciate the interlude. I'm not editing this, by the way, so you guys can just skip. But important rule here is that so the important rule here is rule 16. When a right of boat way changes course, she shall give the other boat room to keep clear. So if you change your course, that basically resets the clock. And if you're able to stay in a straight line and cause the other boat to tack, if they're not tacking as fast as they can, or at least showing that to the umpires, that could be a flag on them. So that's a long-winded way of saying, look at how he stays straight here. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you go. And so right there, it was quite 5 seconds going straight here. But at the end, you notice that he starts turning up, right? Because he wants to still stay to windward. But that's great. He's forced this guy to tack early. And so that allows him to also tack really aggressively into port and, or sorry, into, well, effectively go head to win here and keep his distance, right? It's really important in match race to be able to be one boat distance away. That's a really good place to be in control if you're the windward boat. And you'll see him set up perfectly here. See how there's like a full boat here, and then they just stop. Classic match racing here. So this is a great view of the inside of the boat. So you'll see the bow person goes in front, and they're controlling the bow of the boat. As the boat stops, right, and there's less flow, the rudder becomes less useful. So the bow person becomes really important. And here you see the main trimmer, right, pushing the main back. He wants to stop. They're in a really good position here on windward, so they want to stop the boat. All right. Thank you for skipping. You should skip whenever something's boring. Please keep skipping. So here, they're stopping the boat. They're stopping the boat. So as a skipper here, this is a really interesting point because as your rudder, I mean, your rudder, as long as there's flow, the rudder's useful, right? And so right here, their SOG is 0.9, so they're still moving forwards. But as they start to stop and move backwards, right, the rudder starts changing its direction, right? It's once you move backwards, you have to alter, like it becomes the opposite. So what you're going to start seeing here from the leeward boat is while while the yellow is windward, right? In match racing, moving backwards doesn't mean that you're breaking a rule, right? You can move backwards, and as long as you have the right of way, or whether you're leeward or starboard, you have the right of way. So what you're going to see is the blue boat here crab like perfectly into the windward boat. So usually if you're the windward boat, you kind of want to do the same thing, right? But that's hard to do, right? You can lose control and then you're in danger and then bad things happen. So you'll see them tack out. But this is a perfect example. Oscar really nails this one. So you can see how they're moving backwards. They're not matching, right? But you can see that the bow person here is turning the boat already. And they're moving backwards, so the rudder is pushing backwards here. And so, and you see the whole crew to leeward here, trying to get a pump out of this because, right, accelerating quickly is critical here. So you can kind of maybe come back if you do it well enough. So there you go. Nice press here, pump the sails. And then you got out of the dial-up perfectly. So I'm going to stop it here. I could keep going, but match racing is pretty cool. You can see how everyone in the crew is doing something important. There's levels to this, and love to share it with you guys.